Hey everybody, welcome back to Get Indie Gaming and to our Indie Insight series, where we take a look and review some of our favourite indie games played of late. And yep, with Fall Guys, we are really super late with our coverage as it's been out for a good few weeks already. It's totally owned Twitch, it's been all over social media, anything you can think about if you've seen them, if you follow people here, they've been playing Fall Guys. It's created such a huge buzz about the place, with it also being free on PlayStation 4 if you have PlayStation Plus over the course of August. So while we are late, we, like so many others, just love it and wanted to take a look into what makes it so darn great, with one or two caveats, although we'll come to those maybe a little bit later. So if you haven't seen this, and to be honest, well, there can't be too many of you watching this who haven't caught all this before, so we'll keep the introductions to a bare minimum. Fall Guys is a 60-player battle royale kind of game that straight up echoes the things you'll have seen on TV shows such as Wipeout, It's a Knockout, Takeshi's Castle, or if you're British and from a certain age, well, you might find a comparison with the rather great but awful Pat Sharp's Funhouse. As could be expected with any such battle royale, you start with a whole heap of people, and then ultimately you do battle against each other with one player taking the prize, or in this case, a big old shiny crown. So far, and for full disclosure, after many attempts, that prize is still yet to be ours. We've had a few thirds and a couple of second places, but nope, we've yet to come home with one of those pretty gold crowns festooned upon our little beanie arms and legs. So if you or otherwise have actually been successful, feel free to share your woes and sorrows and tales of victory down there in the comments. As we touched upon earlier, there's some utter brilliance going on here, particularly in how the game keeps you playing, keeps you wanting to advance that little bit further, all the while keeping players suitably entertained. While there were some matchmaking issues when the game first launched, right now, when you are eliminated, it's super quick to get back into the action. You don't have to wait that long to have another go, which could have been a real issue, as it's the kind of game you just want to be able to get back into very quickly. Nearly all of the shows, or levels, or whatever you want to call them, involve some kind of race from point A to point B, with you having to negotiate the antics of other players getting in your way, but also the environmental hazards such as swinging balls, jumping through gates and walls, etc. There are also modes such as the tag-based show, where you get a fox's tail attached to your backside and have to leg it around the place, avoiding it getting pinched by others. This is just one of the team-based elements that you're grouped with other players need to cooperate around some sort of task-based action. In the case of the tails, well, it's all about collecting as many of them as possible. In other shows, you're asked to collect eggs, some of them being golden, and the team with the fewest of one of those at the end, well, they get booted from the game. So far, and we say so far, Fall Guys is one of those games as a service type of thing, with many more content we expected to be added as time goes on. Actually, one of the best levels we've played so far makes use of what are called seesaws. These are giant seesaws. Now, this level seems to have generated a huge amount of love or loathe it kind of content, and we as a small collective of mostly indie game players are firmly in the former category of players in terms of our endearment of this level. It's just so cathartically chaotic with the actions of other players sending the seesaws in any given way, depending upon their movement across them. It's just so much fun. Yeah, we get the frustrating nature of this level. For us at least, it seems to be the game within the game that generates the most laughter and the most amount of giggles and the most amount of swearing of any of them. Another part of Fall Guys in which we're fascinated by and love and loathe in equal measures, well, this comes from the intentional griefing of other players. If you've picked this one up, you've probably seen this or experienced it firsthand, when folks towards the end of the level normally will interact with you in some way to stop you making it over the finishing line, or to chuck you off the course, which gets you kicked out of the level or just pushed back in time, making it harder to qualify. It's fun to watch this happen to other players, as you can totally empathise with the person on the other side of that controller. Less fun perhaps when it happens to you for fairly obvious reasons. We've been on Twitter and a few of the other game channels and forums. We've actually seen some people taking this griefing a little bit too personally, with folks reporting players who do this via the PlayStation abuse system, with them also encouraging others to do the same. Well, For us, as the saying goes, that's just a little bit unnecessary. Has this happened to you? And if so, as we said earlier, let us know down in the comments. We'll do our best to keep an eye for the best tales from players in the Get Indie Gaming community, and perhaps share some of them with the more wacky and zany examples of player griefing, or anything else across Twitter and our other social media outlets. It's going to be fascinating to see where developers Mediatonic take Fall Guys. It's clearly extremely popular, and 2 million copies were sold via Steam within the first week of sales. But does it have the legs, as it were, to be a lasting, multi-year, multi-season success, let's say in the same way as Rocket League? On balance, we're pretty much agreed here at Get Indie Gaming that it can. There's plenty of room for the addition of new mini-games. Hey, even some of those already there could be tweaked and changed to roughen out some of the ragged edges. The beanie-shaped players, of course, are ripe for adaptation and change, and as we're seeing already, so far there's been a huge demand for other brands and entities to get a piece of the Fall Guys action, with guest characters and associated branding making their way into the game's store fairly soon. Personally, we're just fine with the length of pretty much all of the levels we can play today. We've seen a few calls here and there for longer games that take, well, a longer time to complete, although that's just not for us. The short, sharp nature of what we have suits our gaming wants just so. The addition of local couch co-op would be extremely welcome. As many of you know, and we've banged this drum long enough over the years, we just love and adore couch co-op. A split screen option of say up to 4 players would be the ultimate cherry on the top for this little ever so colourful pie of gorgeousness. One other thing we'd really also love to see, which would be a tweak within the spectator mode. Sure, it's fun as it is, and it's one of the best of its kind. I mean, how often do you actually use these types of modes within other games? For us, well, hardly ever, although Fall Guys can be as entertaining to watch passively as it is, well, actually play it. We'd really enjoy a better way to engage with other players during these spectator sessions, some way of giving credit or kudos or cheers. The evolution of this side of thing would be a nice touch, we think, for both players and spectators. There's probably also some decent room for additional touches here and there, specifically for streamers, who, as we mentioned earlier, have been all over Fall Guys since it came out. The choice lets, say, viewers to select stages, perhaps even have them change difficulty levels, or even give folks on Twitch the option to open their games for others to join and play them. Well, that would be pretty neat within the Fall Guys universe. As this video airs just 2 days before the virtual Gamescom of 2020 kicks off from Cologne, we can expect the first major announcements on what to expect from Fall Guys Season 2 to be laid out within the show's opening presentation. And amongst all of the other reveals, whatever we learn in where Fall Guys is headed to could be for many one of the highlights of the entire show. In any case, please excuse us, we need to head back into Fall Guys, which has, in all honesty and quite unexpectedly, has pretty much grabbed a spot within our end of the year Game of the Year rundown. We played Fall Guys exclusively on the PlayStation 4, with a copy having been downloaded for free as part of our PlayStation Plus membership that's paid out of our own pocket. If you want to see more of these reviews and opinion pieces, please let us know in the comments, and of course give that like button a gentle little tap, and if you haven't, now would be a fine time to subscribe to our channel. We're slowly but surely making our way to the coveted 100,000 subscriber mark, and in so doing, become arguably the largest indie game cross-platform channel here on the whole of YouTube. As always, many thanks to our patrons for supporting us, and if you're able, please consider joining our community with Discord and access to other content you just can't find anywhere else. In any case, all the best, thank you for watching, and we'll see you all again here soon for more indie game videos.